Like the last example, we've adapted one of OpenAI's examples for Wanda's platform using OpenAI's GPT 3.5 model. Last time, with Sarcastic Marv, we briefly considered how we might use a persona pattern in our system prompt to give our AI an identity and a personality. We'll do something similar here, but try something a bit more complex. We've already pre-populated this experience with the 360 skybox, as well as our comedian avatar in the center here. So to get started, I'm going to click on our avatar. I'm going to find our chat window open on the right, go to the magic wand on the top right, and open up our AI character settings. So after zooming in here, you may notice something strange. There's no system prompt and no user message, no AI message yet. There's just some text in here, which you can still continue to disregard for now. So what I want to do to get started is use this a lot like how we might use ChatGPT. So as a user, I'm just going to put in the text box, analyze the pros and cons of remote work. And after hitting submit, we should get a bunch of ChatGPT-like content. Droning on and on and on, not funny at all. Looks like it's got a lot of its content from some LinkedIn posts, perhaps. So now what I want to do is go to our system prompt and shape this content a little bit by giving it a persona and a personality. So let me scroll to the top here. Got a system prompt handy. You are an award-winning motivational speaker that now publishes content on LinkedIn with over 100,000 subscribers. You can write engaging articles written for younger generations by using bullet points and lots of emojis. So like in our first example, I'm going to delete the comedian AI's message by clicking the trash icon and just regenerate our user or me, our input, by clicking this recycle icon here. And now we're already starting to see, without having to read everything word by word, some emojis. The content has been directed in a much more streamlined LinkedIn-esque fashion. But still not funny. Still sounds a lot like it's a bit too professional and we want a comedian. So what we can do now is delete this message for now, go back up to our system prompt and tweak it a little bit. So now we'll go with, you are a stand-up comedian that now publishes satirical content on LinkedIn. You can write biting, satirical pieces that conform to the sensibilities of younger generations by using bullet points and lots of emojis, but in a humorous and critical way. Now our user or me message will be the same. And so I'll go ahead and click resubmit or regenerate, recycle. And now we're starting to see something a little bit different. So immediately we see some of the humor that's being injected to our response. Pros, flexibility. You can work in your pajamas and never have to worry about commuting. You can spend more time with your loved ones and sneak in a midday nap. No office politics, no passive aggressive emails. Okay, good. So this is looking a lot more comedic. Cons, your only coworkers are your pets and they're not they're not great at giving feedback. So you just see how much more complex this is than Sarcastic Marv and how we were able to iterate this in our system prompt. But let's try to take things a bit more extreme here and get something really nuanced. So since our idea here is to iterate and experiment, and since I know that the comedian Jon Stewart has had a show on television for quite a long time, and I'm sure that there are countless blog posts written about him and his show, I'm going to make an assumption here that our AI knows, quote unquote, knows what Jon Stewart is. And it's probably part of its training data. So instead of saying you are, a stand-up comedian, any stand-up comedian, I want to go ahead and update our system prompt again, but this time say you are the comedian Jon Stewart of The Daily Show that is now delivering a satirical monologue for a comedy show. You deliver biting satirical pieces that conform to the sensibilities of younger generations while addressing the pros and cons of a topic. Obviously, we don't want the emojis this time around. We want this to sound like the start of a comedy show. So let's now see what we get by resubmitting our response. Okay, so this looks good, but it's still a bit long. So what I want to do now is go to the me message here, the user message, and add something. Analyze the pros and cons of remote work. Your response should not be more than 100 words. So let's delete the last comedian response and regenerate it. Okay, so this looks good. And so now that we have everything that we need, I want to do something a little bit different here. You'll notice our system prompt is there and our me message is here, but I've deleted the comedian response from our AI character settings conversation history. And the reason I'm doing that is I want the experience of the user to be such that when they click on the AI character for the first time, upon opening this URL, upon opening this experience, the AI comedian should immediately just start talking. And so by deleting the comedian response, the message there, and I now just have me or the user's request, if I hit save now and I regenerate the conversation or refresh it, the comedian will start off.
Remote work, the dream of many employees and the nightmare of many bosses. Let's break it down. On the pro side, you can work in your pajamas, avoid the dreaded commute, and have more flexibility in your schedule. Plus, you can avoid annoying coworkers and office politics. But on the con side, it can be isolating, with limited social interaction and blurred boundaries between work and personal life. And let's not forget the constant temptation to binge watch Netflix instead of actually working. So, remote work, it's a mixed bag of comfy pants and potential procrastination.
Okay, so this is pretty good. This sounds a lot like something that might be in the comedic opening monologue of a show. And to just reiterate what we've done here is that we've extended this idea of our persona pattern from sarcastic Marv in example 1 by showing that if we add additional context and more nuance, each time we add more of this context, we are quote unquote prompt engineering our agent by steering it closer to the generative output that we desire. And we can be strategic about this by using existing personas like comedians or even specific people like Jon Stewart that we can make an assumption is probably part of the training data of this large language model in the first place. So as a design challenge, continue to tinker with this example, try something different, see what you can get out of it. Good luck.